Vision without execution is hallucination. Thomas Edison. On this lesson 7, we want to talk about action plan. Now that you've written down these exercises and you've talked about your vision, you've begun to have a feeling of what God has called you to do and written it down. Having a vision, only takes you on the first steps towards this long journey. Possessing a vision, that is good. Now let's talk about bringing it to reality. Vision requires constant care and attention. Having the idea is only the start. The hard part is what? Executing it to make it a success. So you must be able to visualize and strategize. It is simple. Every vision is really a 2-step process. Number 1, the visualizing phase. We just talked about it. If you have all the money in the world, what we're going to do, what do you want to become? And then the next step is the strategizing step. So you have already visualized. If you have articulated your vision, now let's strategize. Let's do some strategies. So I want us to list down the steps to get there. What are the steps to get to the visualization? What are the phases of a 1-year plan? What is your master plan? What are those goals and objectives? Vision is a big picture. Goals are now the little pictures to take you to the goal. Every painting comes by multiple brush strokes. We'll talk about goals next time. I have a whole course on goals. So when we realize that we have to strategize, then we have to take a sheet of paper right now and begin to describe the details of each of those steps. Fulfilling your vision is achieved by first planning, then deciding on goals and objectives. We know that there are 3 kinds of planning. There's what you call strategic planning, which is a long-term plan from 5 years upward. They could be unrealistic because it is difficult to predict what happens in the next 5 years and beyond. Then you have what we call it tactical planning. These are short-term plans from 1 to 5 years. Usually leaders get to work on what has to be realized in short run. And finally, what we call the operational plan. These are the day-to-day plans or the routine things you have to do every day. And now developing a personal planning habit, it means that we have to plan weekly. We take that vision and we look at it weekly. What can we accomplish? We develop a planning habit of our day-to-day. For most people, since Monday marks the beginning of the day, of the week, they can take Monday as a good time to plan for the week, or somebody can do Sunday evenings. So we have to plan, develop a habit of planning your day at the same hour every day. We need to plan early, we need to plan timely, we need to plan regularly. Plan so that you can actually see that vision come to pass. And when people do planning, there are 2 ways, a to-do list and a schedule. A to-do list is to make, a to-do of the things that you need to accomplish, maybe for that week or for that day, to fulfill that vision. And then a schedule. You list your goal for the day, you make a schedule, make an action plan. How do I reach my goals? How do I obtain this? How do I? And so these 2 basic steps of daily planning and weekly planning and long-term planning, and scheduling, we make sure to allocate the right timing for each of these items so we can achieve those things. Well clarified objectives have to be what they call SMART. Have to be SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, and what? Realistic and time bound. So specific, measurable, realistic, attainable, and time bound. So when we arrange our various objectives and our priorities, this is a step we have put in motion to plan to achieve our goals. And we make sure our vision, and we make sure that every of these objectives or goals have a deadline, because deadlines have the way of sparking us into action. We have to have a timeline. The next week I'm going to do this. Next week I'm going to do this. Little by little, step by step, we are able to reach to that vision. Many people would just take big, gigantic steps. It doesn't work that way. We must respond step by step. So let's take a little bit further. In your course, I'm going to give you a PDF that's going to help you how to put your vision into action. So here's a list of steps that can help you to fulfill your vision. Number one, we know the vision. We like to see in the future. The first thing, planning. The next is planning. So first is vision. What do you like your life to look like your job to look like, you like your career to look like? The next is planning. You write, you think, or you say what you will do and how you do it to get what? To the vision. Again, you must take time to plan why you are doing what you're doing. So the vision, the planning, writing down, thinking and saying, and then the goals. Goals are what? The end point or desired result. What are results? Objectives. These are sub-goals. Each of our men will have a sub-goal. Now, task. How will the objectives be accomplished? Formulate your daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. So vision, planning, goals, objectives, and tasks. And then timeline. When will they be accomplished? And finally, we do a follow-up. Evaluation. Did we attain our goals? Did we reach where we wanted to reach? Proverbs 24 verse 3-4 says that an enterprise is built by wise planning, becomes strong through common sense, and profit wonderfully by keeping abreast of facts. Proverbs 24 verse 3-4, an enterprise is built by wise planning, becomes strong through common sense, and profit wonderfully by keeping abreast of facts. So, key ingredients as we round up this section is to understand that vision without action is hallucination, and that we have to plan. And planning can be long-term, short-term, operational, and that we have to do our weekly calendar, our scheduling. We have to do the thinking part, the writing part, the sub-goals, and then above all things, we have to do what? Execute and evaluate. Thank you so much. I can't wait for us to jump into lesson number 8.